atmosphere in Boston is electric right now. After a statement win in Game 5, the Celtics have not only advanced to the NBA playoff semifinals, but have also reminded everyone exactly why they are the reigning champions. That 120-89 blowout over the Orlando Magic wasn't just a win. It was a message that this team is locked in, focused, and hungry for another title. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, the Celtics imposed their will. It was dominance in every sense of the word. But this series wasn't just about one big win. It was about how this group responded to adversity. After dropping Game 3 in Orlando, questions started to swirl. Were the Celtics too reliant on their stars? Could they crack Orlando's defense, which had been frustratingly effective in that loss? One player who was particularly under the microscope was Kristaps Porzingis. The 7'3" center had struggled in Game 3, but instead of shrinking, under the pressure, he studied, adjusted, and came back swinging. In the days between Games 3 and 4, Porzingis took a deep dive into film. He watched how Orlando's bigs rotated, how they collapsed in the paint, and where the passing lanes opened up when the double teams came. And according to him, that's where the key was. Speaking after Game 4, Porzingis said the team identified the subtle gaps in the Magic's defensive coverage, those brief moments of hesitation, the rotations that were just a beat late, and they built a game plan to exploit them. That preparation paid off in a major way. In Game 4, Porzingis looked like a man on a mission. He poured in 19 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, added an assist, and even recorded a steal. But more than the stat line, it was the way he played, which with confidence, decisiveness, and a real sense of control. That made a difference. He stretched the floor, knocked down shots, and forced Orlando to abandon their comfortable defensive schemes. That shift was crucial, and it laid the foundation for the blowout in Game 5. Now, let's talk about Game 5, the one that sealed the deal. The big question heading into that night wasn't about Porzingis, it was about Jaylen Brown. After suffering a posterior impingement in his right knee, there were doubts about whether the reigning Finals MVP would even be able to suit up. He had been massive earlier in the series, especially in Game 2, where he dropped 36 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and added a steal. That performance reminded everyone just how valuable he is to this team, not just as a scorer, but as a leader. So when the announcement came that he was cleared to play in Game 5, you could feel the city breathe a little easier. And once the game started, it didn't take long for Brown to make his presence felt. He wasn't forcing anything. He was letting the game come to him, picking his spots and doing what he does best, getting buckets. He finished the night with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And every time he touched the ball, you could sense the confidence oozing from the rest of the roster. When your MVP is back and playing like himself, it changes everything. With the Magic now in the rearview mirror, the Celtics shift their focus to the next challenge, and things are about to get even more intense. Their next opponent will be either the New York Knicks or the Detroit Pistons, and each team brings a unique set of challenges. If it's the Knicks, the spotlight immediately falls on Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Brunson has been a revelation this season, running the offense with poise and constantly creating for himself and his teammates. Towns, on the other hand, is a matchup nightmare, versatile, physical, and capable of stepping out and hitting threes. But here's the thing. The Celtics aren't intimidated. They know how to prepare. They've faced high-level talent all season long, and they've got the tools to neutralize stars like Brunson and Towns. And if it's the Pistons, well, that's a different kind of fight. Detroit has been the surprise story of these playoffs. No one expected them to be here, but Cade Cunningham has led this group with fearlessness and grit. They're scrappy. They play with house money. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain, which makes them incredibly dangerous. But the Celtics thrive in these situations. They've got the experience, the chemistry, and perhaps most importantly, the chip on their shoulder from hearing all season that other teams are catching up. What makes this Celtics team so dangerous isn't just the star power. It's the depth. It's the coaching. It's the way they adjust. We've already seen it in this postseason. After a frustrating loss, they respond with dominance. After injury scares, they rally together. And with guys like Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Al Horford all stepping up when it matters most, The Celtics have multiple ways to beat you. They're not a one-dimensional team, and that makes them a nightmare matchup for anybody. And let's not forget the mental edge. This team has been here before. They felt the pressure of the postseason. They know what it takes to close out games and series. That kind of experience doesn't show up on the box score, but you can see in the way they carry themselves, in the calmness during tense moments, and in the fire they play with when the stakes are highest. Every possession matters in the playoffs, and the Celtics are playing like a team that understands that better than anyone. The road ahead won't be easy. There are still tough battles to fight, but if this first-round performance showed us anything, it's that Boston is ready, they're prepared. They've learned from their stumbles, adjusted to every challenge, and now they look sharper than ever. The message has been sent. The champions are not going down without a fight, and if anything, they might be just getting started. What's truly remarkable about this Celtics squad is how seamlessly each player understands their role and executes it when the moment calls. Take Drew Holiday, for example. He's not always the loudest on the court, and he's not chasing stats, but his impact? It's undeniable, whether it's locking down the opposing team's best perimeter threat or calmly setting the tone offensively. Holiday's presence is one of those things you only truly appreciate when you watch him game after game. In Game 5, he was surgical with his defense, and every time Orlando tried to get into a rhythm, it felt like Holiday was there to snatch it away. That's veteran leadership. That's championship experience, and that's exactly what you need in the postseason. Then there's Derek White, who continues to be the glue guy for this team. He's not always in the headlines, but he's always in the action. White's defensive rotations are sharp. His court vision is underrated. And when the team needs a spark, he's often the one to deliver it. Whether it's diving for a loose ball, drawing the charge, or knocking down a timely three-pointer, White does all the little things that don't always show up in the final stat sheet, but make all the difference between winning and losing. He's a guy every championship team needs, a stabilizer, a fighter, and someone who never backs down from the moment. And let's not forget about Al Horford. At his age, with all the mileage he's logged throughout his career, it would be easy to assume his best days are behind him. But Horford just keeps proving everyone wrong. He may not fill up the box score like he used to, but his basketball IQ is off the charts. He anchors the defense when needed, provides veteran wisdom in the locker room, and still manages to hit big shots when the game tightens up. He's a steady hand in stormy waters, and for a team chasing back-to-back titles, that kind of leadership is absolutely priceless. What we're seeing in Boston right now isn't just a talented team on a hot streak. It's a fully formed unit that's been through the battles, taken the hits, learned from the heartbreaks, and come out tougher. Last year's championship wasn't the finish line. It was the beginning of a new era. And this postseason is starting to feel like the continuation of that mission. Every game has its own story, but the theme that keeps repeating itself is resilience. These Celtics get knocked down, they get up faster. They get challenged. They respond with force. They don't play afraid. They play like a team that believes in each other, in their system, and in their ability to win no matter who's in front of them. And the chemistry? You can't teach that. You build it over time, through training camps, through blowout wins and gut-wrenching losses, through long flights and quiet film sessions. That's what we're seeing now, the payoff of all those hours, all that buy-in, all that work behind the scenes. When you watch Boston move the ball, it's unselfish. When you see the bench reacting to a big play, it's pure joy. When a starter checks out, the next guy steps in with the same intensity. That's culture. That's identity. And that's exactly what championship DNA looks like. Even Joe Mazzulla deserves credit here. He's not just managing egos or calling plays. He's cultivating a mindset. His game-to-game adjustments have been smart and timely. He's empowered his players to take ownership of the game while providing them with the structure to succeed. In today's NBA, where coaching is often underrated, Mazzulla has found a way to be both tactician and motivator. He knows when to push, when to pull back, and when to let his stars take over. That balance has been one of Boston's biggest strengths this year, and it's showing in the postseason. Now, with the semifinals on the horizon, the intensity only goes up from here. Every possession gets tighter. Every defensive mistake becomes more costly. Every substitution matters more. But this is the kind of basketball Boston lives for. This is when they shine. The fans at TD Garden are going to be louder. The lights are going to be brighter, and the expectations are going to be sky high. But this team has never shied away from the pressure. In fact, they seem to welcome it. They feed off it. That's what makes them dangerous. And let's be real, this team has a chip on its shoulder. They heard all the talk before the playoffs. The doubters saying the East was wide open. The skeptics pointing to other teams with more star power or younger cores. But the Celtics have responded in the most effective way possible by dominating on the court. They let their play do the talking, and so far, the message has been loud and clear. They're still the team to beat. It's not just about defending the title. It's about defining a legacy. If this group can run it back and claim another championship, they won't just be a great team. They'll be remembered as one of the best of their generation. And for players like Tatum, Brown, and the rest of this core, that kind of greatness is within reach. But they know it won't come easy. Nothing in this league ever does. The road to a title is paved with obstacles, setbacks, and moments where it could all fall apart. But the Celtics are built for that. They've shown us they're more than ready for whatever's coming next. The semifinals are going to test every ounce of their preparation. Whether it's the physicality of the Knicks or the unpredictability of the Pistons, Boston will need to bring its best. But if these last two games are any indication, we're about to witness a team that's locked in like never before. They're not satisfied. They're not just trying to win. They're trying to dominate, to silence any remaining doubts, and to keep marching toward another ring. And if you're a Celtics fan right now, you've got every reason to believe they can do just that. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Rumors are swirling in the NBA world about Boston Celtics legend Paul Pierce, as reports suggest he may be going through a difficult period in his personal life. While no official statement has been released by Pierce or his representatives, whispers from close sources indicate that the former NBA star has been facing emotional and possibly financial struggles in recent months. Pierce, known as the Truth throughout his illustrious career, is remembered for his fierce competitiveness, clutch performances, and deep connection with the Celtics franchise. After retiring in 2017, he remained a visible figure in the basketball world, frequently appearing on national TV as an analyst. However, his post-retirement life has not always been smooth. In 2021, he parted ways with ESPN following a controversial video posted on social media, which sparked criticism and concern among fans. Now, speculation has returned after Pierce was noticeably absent from a few public appearances he was scheduled to attend this season. Friends and former teammates have remained quiet, but some have privately expressed concern for his well-being. The basketball community, especially in Boston, continues to hold him in high regard, and any suggestion that he may be struggling is met with sympathy and support. Pierce has always shown resilience, both on and off the court. From surviving a near-fatal stabbing incident early in his career to leading the Celtics to the 2008 NBA title, his story has long been one of strength and determination. Fans are now hoping that he can once again draw on that inner strength to navigate whatever challenges he may be facing today. For now, the details remain unclear, but the hope is that Paul Pierce, a hero to many, receives the support and guidance needed to overcome this moment. As the basketball world watches closely, the message is simple. The Truth will always be respected, and he's never alone. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.